welcome to Critical Rollback,
where we feel very represented. I'm Bal. Say something.
My name is Jana. Was that everything?
I was going for
Was that everything you'd hoped it would be, or do you want a second take?
I was thinking in my brain, because they disguise themselves as peasants in this episode very prominently. And I was like, oh, I could go with a representation joke. But then I was like, and then I said it, and I was like, oh no, I don't know how to pronounce that, so people could hear the pun. Represented? Represent? Represent? I made a mistake.
Do you want a second take?
No, it's too late. We only move forward.
Okay. No retakes. No, the only thing we cut is the warnings.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so we're here, and we're doing episode 29 of Critical Role called Whispers, but first, we have anything else to talk about?
I mean, there's new guests on Critical Role, which is really fun.
It's kind of funny how we started saying, but wow, why aren't there any more guests on Critical Role? No, there's nothing but guests.
Yeah, it's literally, I think last episode had, spoilers, 3 guests. I'm not going to say who they are, but
3?
Woof, that's a lot of guests. 3.
I knew about Amy, and I knew about the sexy librarian, and who's the third?
Amy Carrero.
Yeah, that was the first one I said. Amy Carrero is there as Denise with a dollar sign. Then the sexy librarian, and the third? Who's the third?
The third is a relatively unknown actor who, I think Critical Role is doing this thing where they're trying to represent, they're trying to invite voice actors who, aren't as well known. Hopefully, they have to, launch their career a little bit. But he's a very sad-looking wizard boy. No, sorcerer boy. He's a bit of a scrunkly.
My timeline has completely neglected to tell me about this man, and I think that speaks for them.
Yeah. I mean, I like him, but I like him in the way that, people have theorized that he might be a border collie who turned into who's, enchanted into being a person.
Oh,
his name's, Bordor or something?
Like the barbarian duck before him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into him in the way that, people are oh, a wizardy type, a scrawny, dark-haired man, I'm gonna, make porn of him. I'm not into that. I'm just into him in a kind of oh, look! A wet lad. Look at him. I want to put him in a jar.
Alright, you heard it here first, folks. Maybe, if we don't cut this part, because spoilers.
Yeah, if we don't cut this part, but I will say that I'm into a different guest a lot more. I like a wizard, which is really rare for me.
The sexy librarian?
Yes.
I mean, she looked like she comes from a different genre, but... I mean...
She very much does, but I just like a character who shows up and her immediate question is hi, can I take a survey? I'm basically a grad student.
Yeah, neat. That makes sense. Also, always share grad student surveys, by the way. Take them and share them.
Yes. Especially on Tumblr, because it's very funny.
That too, but also on Twitter. Every time I see a grad student survey, I take it and I share it. Not because I've had to do this myself, but because I, have friends in academia who've had to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's anything we really need to cover.
Nope, that's about it.
Yep. Neat. This one's getting quicker.
Yeah. Let's step right to it, into the, content and spoiler warnings, right?
Yep.
Let's go, since we've already done some spoilers.
Spoilers, content and spoilers.
Hello there. This is Bal, recording from the far-off future of August 1st, 2024. Here to give you the content warnings and the spoiler warnings. Starting with the content warnings, we have some anti-ziganist slurs right at the top. Implied abuse of not really a child, but looks and is passing as a child. We usually warn for violence, but this episode has some real violent grog violence. So, just know ahead of time, Grog has fun with this one. There's also some sexual humor and description of said sexual acts, and discussions of alcoholism and alcohol abuse as coping. As for spoiler warnings, we do talk a little bit about Campaign 3, but you kind of already heard that, so, That's basically all I have to say today, but I hope you have a lovely time with the rest of the episode, and I'll see you all soon. Bye! Game Tidbits.
Out of Game Tidbits.
Out of Game
So, first
tidbits.
of all, temporality for your contemporary time travel needs. This episode... Hi, Kay. This episode was happened on October 22nd, 2015. We are currently on May 21st, 2023.
Yes, we are.
We are probably publishing this December 2024. I'm saying this on purpose, so you can listen to this in a couple of months and be like, oh, they really did pick up the pace. Or else you actually are listening to this in December 2024, and I am psychic. There's literally no way to lose.
There's no way to lose. I think Oliver just climbed into the bathtub, so I guess he's getting warm.
Aww.
He's gonna go cool off in the bathtub. A drained up bathtub, and also Oliver was my cat. Anyway, we start on the episode with Matt and Zach. Matt had to shave. Zach did not. He looks very shaggy, and also, not too bad, actually. He looks pretty good with that shag.
Yeah, I see what you mean. He's gonna get starburns for the whole...
Yeah.
They're hitting 10k during this, they're doing giveaways. Matt had to shave his face for work, but not his sideburns.
Yeah. It's odd, because sometimes it's very hard to tell if Matt has sideburns or not. Not because you can't see them, but because they're like... I don't know what it is about his face and his hair, but I just can't see them sometimes. It's like they just slip by my field of vision. And then he shaves them, and I'm like, what changed? What changed?
The contouring changed. Literally.
Yes. But right now he has sideburns, and they look kind of weird.
Yeah, in the notes you will find also me having a bit of a freak out when Laura and Travis show up, because they're a little late here. I think they missed like half the episode.
Quite a bit late, actually.
Yeah. And Travis shows up and he is a clean-shaven baby face.
Baby face. There's a part in this episode where he smiles and he looks like such a baby.
God, yeah, it makes you concerned about whether he's even allowed to work this late. What is this child doing at the table and why is he so big?
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like a 21-year-old, genuinely. Like a mature 21-year-old. But he looks like he's a college student.
He looks like he's not allowed to be drinking what they're drinking at the table.
Yes, because they still don't have Twitch limitations.
I mean, they don't really mention what they drink, but we know.
We know. Sam is almost there. He's going to be in basically as soon as they finish their announcements.
Which are long this episode.
Yes. Which are long. They have a lot of things to announce.
Yeah. They're still thinking Orion is going to be back for Halloween.
He's not.
He's not. During this episode, the personalized playlists go up, which I'm going to be extremely normal about next time we record, when I'm starting to analyze them.
I mean, we need to find them again, because, like, a lot of them have been taken down off the Geek and Sundry site, so they're only available through, like, archive.org, and I feel ways about this.
What? They did what?
A lot of the playlists have been taken down from the Geek and Sundry website, and you can only see them through Internet Archive.
I am enraged.
Yeah, me too. I am too. Some of them are still up, but you have to, like, they're hard to find. Some of them I've had to, like, because I wanted to check one, and I couldn't find Percy's last playlist. I had to go through archive.org and find it that way.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, it's scary.
Are they not even on the wikis? What the fuck?
I mean, they're mentioned on the wiki. They'll talk about them on the wikis, but there's not like there's not like a page for them on the wiki. These are like
probably because nobody ever thought we might have to do this. Wow.
Yeah, there are certain things about Critical Role Campaign 1 that are like, they're not lost media, but they're like, they're endangered media. They're coming close to becoming lost media, and I feel like we should protect them.
Yeah, those playlists were important. They're half the reason I'm really, really upset with Liam O'Brien, still, 7 years later.
I'm still rolling my eyes at them, because, really, Liam? The Decemberists? Really?
For Caleb?
No, he had a Vax playlist with a song from The Hazards of Love, which is just so like, yeah, of course, we're gonna have a song from the album that has like a weird maternal fae entity who has like an adopted son, and like the son wagers something to like basically have like one last day on Earth with his wife, before she takes him away forever.
Whatever this is, it's not going to get any worse than A Million Reasons by Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're giving me...
But also, it's just like...
I've got 100 million reasons to walk away in context of his death. I'm sorry?
Really?
I just need one good one to stay? Yeah, I guess your sister sister or lover weren't good enough, huh? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Different people, not the same.
Doesn't even matter to me right now. Fuck you.
It's not sister and lover, it's sister, comma, and lover.
Yes, whatever. That's not the point I'm making right now.
Yes, I know. Anyway,
I'm just still
Spotify
so
playlist.
fucking angry about the end of this campaign.
Me too. Still,
and this
you have to like
in
7
particular.
Years.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, at some point
very
we need
normal
to
about
make,
this.
Anyway, if anyone wants to help me make like a protected site version of these, like find some way to like protect them like an endangered species, please do.
I just know that for this round, Laura's playlist is going to have "Say It to Me Now" on it, which is also a song I had a minor obsession with. Like, she didn't come here to play, did she?
No, she's playing hardball, and it's not even that late. Like, it's pretty early, and she's still already playing so hard.
She's not here to play, she's here to win.
She's here to fucking win. Anyways,
D&D was up. They had a Witch Hunter class, which is untested.
Boy, I wonder, really, Witch Hunter, you say? I wonder if that's going to be the name that goes up.
Also, somebody got Liam a big fat robe that he wears, and he doesn't look like a rogue with it, he looks like a cultist.
He definitely looks like a cultist. It is a sick robe, though.
It's only missing, like, the tentacle beard.
Yeah, but it's very much just like...
You probably wore this to Murder's engagement.
Yeah, this is the outfit that he wears while he gets, like, punched in the chest by Marisha Ray.
I think it was Travis, but yeah, it's what he wore when he was standing next to that.
Yes. Blood has a Kickstarter for Zartana.
Yep, which is where the aforementioned slur is from.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Also, the name Zartana just triggers my discourse response.
Yeah.
Those are a couple of unfortunate letters come together that make me want to go on a debate with you.
Yeah, just don't put those Z's and T's and A's and N's together in a way that will make people go insane.
No, the discourse recently showed up on my Twitter feed again, and nobody was called a colonist or anything, or a pedophile, which was a step up from how the discourse usually goes these days. It still made me go like...
Yeah, a little bit.
I am frothing at the mouth, I am so ready to go. Somebody asked me if adorable is abusive yet. That's the second ship defense rant I can drop. I can, like... You know how this Tumblr poll went around that Christine showed us of, like, would you rather spend 3 hours at a baby shower with people you don't know or 15 minutes on a stage talking to thousands of people? Put me on that stage! I will talk to them for 3 hours!
Just for 15 minutes?
Seriously.
That's all you're giving me?
15 minutes. I can't even make a point in 15 minutes.
Yes. But yeah, it's,
Yeah,
there are certain,
unfortunate title, unfortunate premise, and also a slurs dropped. Moving on.
There's random bones hanging out in frame. Probably not real bones, but we can say.
Let's hope they're not real bones, but who knows, really, who knows?
Maybe those are just the leftovers from Talison's lunch.
I was about to say, maybe Taliesin had to clear out his closet or something, and he thought like, hey, these can pass as Halloween decorations.
Hey, I haven't seen these in years. I should probably use them. Yes.
Yep.
And,
then we're playing the old intro song, which means that Orion isn't off the show yet, but he is off the show.
Yeah. I'm still very fond, by the way, of, like, if anyone asks me what the Critical Role theme song is, it would still be do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
Yep.
Dum, bum, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do. We can't do this whole one, but yes, that's the Critical Role theme song. It's not the, Return to Roll or whatever's this one. It's Thursday night. I don't like that one. Sorry.
Time for the swingers orgy.
My least favorite part of that song, by the way, is when they say, "Who knows what might happen? He might," which never fails me. It never fails to make me go, "Excuse me." Who knows what might happen? He might. I don't know. There's no way to say that in my mind without coming across as like kind of skeevy. Like something is weird about that.
Is it a capitalized H? Are we in a cult now?
I mean, a cult? Is this an orgy? I don't know what's going on. Like anytime I hear that line, I just go, no. What do you mean he might know what's going to happen?
My dudes, my guys, you're not helping the whole Satanism accusations with that.
No, I'm just gonna text my friend and let them know my location. I'm gonna take a selfie right here with the location, so if I, disappear, there's a good image for, like, last scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anyway, that's just what I had to say about the theme song. We can move on.
It's Thursday night, it's just like... One of the most amazing moments was when they had an actual singable theme song for Campaign 2, and people just sang it at them during a live show.
And, like, truly, I do think that the Critical Role Campaign 2 theme song is probably, like, the most musically good, just in terms of, like, it's very catchy. I like the Critical Role. That was very good.
Yeah, no,
but again,
I mean, the key selling point of that song is that you can sing it as a crowd really, really well.
But if you ask me, you can sing the Campaign 1's theme song as a crowd as well. Like,
yes! And then somebody has to yell for the flute, and
It's great, and I love it. It's very near and dear to my heart.
And also, like, the cosplay intros just go so much harder.
Yeah, I really want them to do, like, an in-character one soon, because they haven't done that since Campaign 1.
They've never had to dress up as their Campaign 2 characters even, and that is cowardice.
It's cowardice. I hope that, like, I want somebody...
Let Ginny D cover you in body paint.
I want someone to make, like, a dummy for, like a marionette for Sam to, like, bop around as his little robot, Sona.
That too. Alternatively, let Ginny D let you borrow her pin-up girl costume. That could also work.
Yes, exactly. But tell me that you would not fucking love to see Ashley Johnson in a satyr costume.
Yeah.
I'd fucking love it.
I want to see Marisha as, like, a falling apart corpse goth.
She'd do amazing. She's so good at, like, manipulating her body in ways that are, like, creepy.
Yeah, the physicality is already so amazing.
She'd do amazing.
Oh god, yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss.
Oh!
Where are we at?
No. Another point. Another thing.
Another point?
Remember how I've been into Helsing Ultimate Abridged recently?
Yes.
And how I've watched a bit of the original Helsing Ultimate? The OVAs that
Yes.
Taliesin kind of wrote.
Basically, in his car, probably.
Episode 2 starts with two characters, and one of which discusses somebody who had like a hole in their head and some glass in there, so you can now look at their brain.
Taliesin Jaffe.
And I was like, oh!
Taliesin.
Puzzle pieces!
Taliesin Jaffe.
I have the puzzle pieces! Whoa, hello, I found something! Scavenger hunt!
Yeah, it's something you have to understand about Taliesin Jaffe, is that he never just makes a character. There's always a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
He might say, no, there's no puzzle. There's a puzzle.
And I have solved it. Whoa!
You've solved it, yes.
Yes.
I know several people have, found some of the pieces for Percy's name, not all the way. I think there's probably going to be, an ARG component. But, some people have found, I think they found, Ludwig or something.
That's just a name.
I know, but that's the name of one of the Durola siblings.
I know, but it's just the name.
Yeah, but this is Taliesin Jaffe, so it's not just a name. If it's a name in a project
No, of course, but you can find a gajillion Ludwigs.
Yeah, I think this is somebody found, a Ludwig in a project that he worked on.
Anyways.
I was like, I found it! I found it!
Neat. Good. Where are we at? We are in Whitestone, in the good part of the plot, over the hill. Last time, the party found a couple of randos who will never be important again, dressed up as them, dangling off a tree, and then appropriated the basement of an abandoned tavern that is going to be the biggest tourist attraction in the future, oh my god.
Yeah, it is.
Here they are now, ready to engage in some partisan indoor camping and competitive botany.
Good use of partisan.
Right?
Yeah, you don't get to use that word a lot. That was a good use.
I don't mean partisan in bipartisan politics, I mean partisans in people fighting on the streets for your rights.
Yes, the Polish partisan, military thing, the rebellion. Yes, good use of the word partisan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say about...
Yeah, we kind of finished off last episode with Keyleth gearing up for this long ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of at the tail end of that.
Or the beginning of
That's where we
that,
start?
both kind of. It's time around her
Both,
ritual
yeah.
is very, very, very malleable.
Yeah, that's a druid ability, to make time very malleable around your ritual.
Yeah, the druid is just parked in a corner doing something however long it takes and everyone else can just do something.
Yes.
I will say that this episode is very slow.
Yeah, especially the start. The ending speeds up and then it goes slow again.
Yeah, but not really slow in a non-positive sense in that we needed to finish the episode before recording. But also,
Yes.
slow in a very deliberate way.
Yeah, it's very plotting.
It's roiling, it's kind of, you hear a thunderstorm brewing in the distance.
Yes.
They're winding
and then
up.
starts to catch fire a little bit.
Yeah, the tension is winding up. It snatches a little bit, and then it winds up more. And that's kind of what makes this arc so good. Or makes this arc what it is that we don't just run into town and have an action sequence one after the other. There is some maneuvering, there is subterfuge, there is a whole lot of atmosphere building up, showing you just how shitty life in this place actually is. It is...
Yes, and it continues to build on that.
Yes, it is...
A lot of the this arc is just spent just hanging out with random people. Not even necessarily named characters or important characters, just people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always with this building tension that then is released in a very, very deliberately, very controlled, and not by fight scene at end of episode always. We still end up having those, but I'm trying to talk shit about the animated series that completely changed the genre of this, making this entire thing feeling extremely disjointed, lacked any and all tension, and just consisted of them having to chaperone a hobbit around.
Yeah, part of why I love this, by the way, why I love this particular arc so much is that it really, because it is basically just them doing a movement, a partisan movement, really.
Yep.
Just literally role playing it out like it would in real life. It also has the things that happen when you're doing that in real life, which is a lot of infighting, a lot of discussions and retreading about like what are we doing, what's our thought, how are we doing this strategically. Oh fuck, we made this bad decision. What do we do? Like it's a lot of just like strategizing and re-strategizing.
Yeah, and also just a lot of having to wait for tensions to die down again so it's safe to go outside. Which,
Yes.
which in a real life show would mean they could do a lot of bottle episodes. Just...
Yeah, take a shot, finish your drink every time Vox Machina goes underground in a safe house or hides their, like, waits out something.
Finish your drink every time they huddle around the sun tree roots.
Yes, and eventually those get exposed. They can't go back there for a while.
Yeah. And nowadays, I can guarantee you this is such a tourist attraction. You can, like, tour the basement, visit the roots, see where Vox Machina planned their liberation of Whitestone, get a drink.
Yeah, the drinks are definitely there. It's still a tavern underground, so it's probably got a speakeasy vibe. But yeah, the thing is that, like...
It's probably got
the same vibe
as, like, the historical reenactment.
It's a lot of cresting. It's a lot of cresting and waning. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of rising and falling, and this is what makes it feel more like a gothic horror than an action sequence.
Yeah, it's the genre shift. Like also, in this episode, we get hints of the Briarwoods building something underground that possibly cursed the ground, and just working up towards the horror of that.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts of this episode, by the way, is how, like, that is dropped multiple times, but never in a way that contextualizes
Yes!
it. Like, at some point when they're, Vox? When they're interrogating Vox, he says, like... What was that?
His last name.
That's his last name? Wow.
His name is Vox Trono. I mean, Strono, but it sounds Italian, right?
It's very Italian, yes. But, Vox, when they're interrogating him, he basically says, like, there's some, like, he'll point to, like, behind the castle, and, like, Percy's like, I know what's there, it's the tunnels that we used to escape, and he's like, no, but there's something else there. And they kind of just don't let him finish, but he's sort of, like, implying that some experimentation is happening there.
He keeps insisting that they're building something under the castle, under the city. And you can also tell he doesn't really know what it is, he just knows it's kind of bad.
Yes, and is like, oh, I can tell you about the secret thing. Maybe that way you won't kill me. Which they don't, but, you know, it's questionable whether that was better or worse. We'll get there. Anyway, the start of this episode is very slow.
Yeah, we kind of start with Keela getting ready to do a ritual. She kind of, I mean, she asked if she can build, like, a ravine around the roots underground, and it kind of, to me, sounded like she wanted to do the... at the same time, they wanted to get water and holy water. And, like, do you think if they just suspended the sun tree on toothpicks so big and dipped the roots in holy water, that would fix everything?
Like how you grow an avocado from a pit?
Yes.
Oh my god. I don't know, maybe. Like, I don't think it'll fix anything, but, like, maybe they'll grow, like, a really tall and narrow sun tree, and they're like, oh my god. This is not right. You really messed up.
Like that, right, like the person was like, well, my thing only grows tall, but no leaves. And it's like, yeah, it's a tree.
Put that beast in some ground, bitch. It still thinks it's underground. Anyway.
And it has an indomitable will to live.
Yeah, but maybe. I don't know. I somehow I feel like that would have not worked, but, like, it might have worked a little better.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have been more likely to just get the whole tunnel to collapse in on them. But yes.
Yeah, they then everyone who isn't revitalizing a tree or stuck in traffic
or simping
goes out to fetch a pail of water.
Yep.
No, he is like in on that. He tries to simp first and then
Vax for the record.
Yeah, Vax. This episode has...
Despite what the weird thumbnail wants you to think.
God, the thumbnail is so weird. The thumbnail has just...
Weird thumbnail. It's a weird thumbnail.
The thumbnail goes for weird heteronormativity, but it also has a Taliesin in his purplest mohawk and in a patterned blazer and a patterned shirt, so it fails utterly.
It just has the vibe of like a prom photo. It's like, yes, we are both heterosexual, for sure, 100%, yes, mom and dad, we're dating.
No, this has like, this has very, movie poster energy, where Marisha is like, trying very hard to be the completely personality-less love interest, trying to save him from the darkness, that's why she looks so like she's suffering. And somebody told Taliesin to pose like that, but he
can't. He cannot.
Not in this getup.
Yeah, somehow it looks photoshopped, even though I think they did just take a picture together, but it looks like they were edited together.
I mean, the Photoshop is because they did it before a green screen and then added the stark blue background.
Yeah, but also just like the vibe, they're putting it like two completely different vibes.
Yes. Marisha's hair looks amazing, though.
Yes, it does. Anyway, Vex is bending his post.
Yeah. Vex is like... a consistent theme for him throughout of this episode is going to be adjusting whatever he wants to do or say on a whim just based on how much it is going to please Keyleth.
Which, I can't completely blame him for, because I would probably do the same to please Keyleth, but also...
Yeah.
Does it in a very obnoxious way sometimes.
Gonna be extremely hypocritical later on.
Yes.
But we're not there yet. We are fetching a pail of water.
Yes. It does not have a hole in it.
It does not. There's no reason to go into a panic spiral about it. God, we need to pick up the pace ourselves. I will say I find it really weird that this bucket was apparently dusty. Like, is this the most disused well in the entire city? Do the other citizens not need to drink anymore? What is happening here? But hey...
They're all drinking blood, presumably?
All the peasants? I don't think so.
No. So half the population is vampires and the other half is just drinking. Just beer.
It's just trying to fit in.
Beer. They're just coping. Beer. So whatever you need to do to get through the day. It's a dusty bucket. They use seeming to make Scan look like a little boy.
Yeah, Vax just declares, "You're my son, let's go."
Yes. It's weird. But sure, whatever you want.
Okay, this was what I thought. It is kind of strange that, like, this whole weird group of people just moves into town and nobody really sees them and anything, and if we needed, like, a filler episode in a 52-episode anime season, we could have had one where Count Tylerio, whosoever, does, like, a tax audit for the new people in town, and they kind of have to pretend to be peasants and need to flesh out their relationships, like, Vax is the dad, Vex is the grandma, Scanlan is just a little boy, and everyone else also needs personalities and reasons to be there and be together.
Yeah, and Vex, for the record, is so, she knows exactly what her character is, and she wants to go, like...
Yep.
She is, no, she does not want to... She wants to be a nasty old woman.
Mm-hmm.
I have this as a little chip in the Vex wants to be a witch department. It's like, okay, my old woman Sona, she has 2 lazy eyes. Yes, 2.
Too bad she doesn't have a broom yet.
No.
That explains why Jester was so into being friends with a hag, too.
Yeah.
Oh, she just has a thing, doesn't she? Oh, that explains...
It's that and mermaids. It's that and mermaids.
Laura Bailey has 3 types.
She does. Anyway. Marisha is super enthusiastic about staying behind and spending time with her tree boyfriend that she doesn't know yet.
He doesn't even talk to her.
This is crazy. And I just met you.
But I'm touching your most intimate parts already, so come back to life, maybe?
That's weirdly intimate, Jana.
She's the one fondling his roots.
She smells of sap.
Wouldn't the sap come out more, whatever.
Now, that's a thing that Taliesin says at some point, as Percy later on. It's like, you smell of sap.
Of course.
So she spends some time flirting with the sentry. Little boy Scanlan is skipping off drearily to the graveyard.
Yeah, they're trying to make a plan of where to find support for the upcoming rebellion, and Percy's like, oh, let's go to the graveyard with the temple where I used to hang out. And then they go to the Paylor temple there.
Which, by the way, tells you one thing, is that Percy did not become goth when bad things happened. He was always kind of goth.
If his hangout of choice was a graveyard, then yes. Yes, absolutely.
He was always reading adventure books in the graveyard.
This is my neighborhood, I feel comfortable.
Yes. So just so you know, when you're thinking about how he was, remember, he was always like this. He was not a prep who became goth. He was always goth. Just needed a good reason.
Some people have the darkness inside of them, others to shop at Hot Topic.
Yes. Some of them invent Hot Topic to shop in, and that's Percy Dorello. Anyway, so this leads into the very...
Oh my god, I'm sorry. You know where they run a Hot Topic out of the Raven Queen temple they invent? Out of frustration, they just, we gave you this temple, you fucking suck, now we're turning it into a merchandise store.
I'm gonna sell belts. I'm gonna sell buckly, jangly-ass belts in your temple. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Percy Dorello just selling, earrings and bad nail polish out of the Raven Queen temple as a fuck you. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, we also learned that the Paylor temple is like an enclosed building, even though Matt tries to walk this back later on, saying, oh no, it's actually kind of open and sun-focused, but at the same time, Arathis, god of the civilization, gets an amphitheater.
Yes, I think it's a weird one. It's another ways in which, the Arathis and Paylor worship kind of become, enmeshed and muddled together.
Yeah,
and sometimes swap names.
People just completely forget about Arathis at the, the animated show just straight up has Keeper Yenin be a woman who was a Paylor priest. Yes,
which is, I'm pretty sure in universe, that person, Keeper Yenin, is a man who swaps from Arathis to Paylor, but just assume these are all Paylor temples. It honestly makes a lot more sense that way. But they try to get into the Paylor building, and did you know the Ming door is, it's not locked. Vax would very much like it to be locked.
Yeah, he rolls natural 20 to unlock it, but there is no lock.
A lock appears, utterly pickable.
Yes,
but no, it's not.
Only that had
locked.
been the case.
It's barred. There's a big door. There's a big heavy wooden log barring it. Wouldn't you know? We have 3 boys here. One of whom is a rogue. One of them is Percy, and the other one is Scanlan.
Can you hear the random encounter combat music just in the background? Dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
You've
picked three noodle boys, and they're not gonna.
Mm-hmm. Has its own combat encounter analysis page on crit roll stats.
It does. It does damage to Scanlan.
It does. It takes 3 spells to open.
Yes. Which it also needs some. My favorite part of this, by the way, is Percy bringing out his sword and letting Scanlan jimmy the door with it, basically. Or basically what he wants to do is slide it under and use it to lift the bar, but he says, I have never used a sword in my life. Here's this pristine piece of shit.
It's technically Vax's idea, and then they, hold it up, and the bar is up so high, Scanlan can't even really reach it.
And he cuts his hand.
And they talk him out of using Big B's hand, which he should have just done before they did the sword thing, but yeah. And then the 3 noodly boys try to lift the sword under a bar together, and roll a 13, a 12, and a 4. The sword deals damage.
Yeah. Then they talk about doing a thunder wave, which isn't gonna even do anything. And then finally, it just leads to Vax realizing, oh wait, there's a window. And just sort of breaking it open and sliding through it.
Yeah, just he does a 3-point landing right next to some rubble and just parkours in there with no difficulties at all.
Except, guess what? On the inside, it's still heavy.
And he's still too noodly to do it. Ugh.
It's still too heavy.
Like, we have Scanlan, Vax, and an unseen servant trying to lift up this goddamn bar.
Yeah, by the way, I assume at this point Percy is just like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And just like leaning against a doorway somewhere. He's not helping.
And Percy is just like, while Vex is cleaning her nails, watching Kira do a ritual, Percy is also cleaning his nails, just leaning against this door, waiting for the shenanigans to be over.
He's just, picking at his nail polish, doing something else. He's done with this. Emotionally, he doesn't even care that much about Palor. Anyway, he's just back in his old haunts, hanging out in a graveyard.
Oh.
And finally, they break down and cast what they should have started with, which is
Scanlan
Bigby's
gets the
hand.
how do you want to do this with Bigby's hand rolling a 20 to lift the bar with a finger.
Yes. And finally, they work their way into the Palor Temple.
Yeah, where they then proceed to...
In search of Father Adel.
I feel Taliesin should have got some shit over this.
Oh, do you think he should have gotten some shit from Father Adel?
Not from, but for.
I don't know, it sounds very, very appropriate for someone to get shit
I know, I'm aware.
Father Adel.
Like, how does nobody make this joke? How am I the first one to make the joke?
Yes. It's amazing. He says this multiple times in the Percy accent, which makes it worse.
Father Anal?
Because it really... Father Anal. Oh,
This is what happens when Laura isn't at the table.
It's Father Raynal. It's Father Raynal. Yeah, say the name out loud first. But yeah, somehow she's not here, so nobody makes the obvious joke.
So we're here to do it. 8 years later. They do find Father Anal under his bed, rotting and dead.
Which, like, it definitely sounds in character for Ripley, don't get me wrong. But, like, girl.
Clean up after yourself.
Come on. That's gross. You can burn that. Like, you were already burning stuff. Just burn the body, too. Like, what are you doing? I mean, like, this makes me laugh because this also means that Percy and Ripley have the same coping mechanism. It's like, oh god, oh fuck, just put it under the bed.
Just shove it under the bed, it can't bother me.
Yeah, I can't see it. It's not there.
Say what you want about Percy, but at least the sword didn't smell.
That's true, she spent some time in there with a smelly body under the bed. Girl, get some better, get some strategy, girl, that's bad.
Wash your face.
Girl, wash your face. Girl, burn that body.
Burn that body. Put it in a grave outside. You're in a graveyard already. The distances are short.
Yeah, but not only is she sloppy with her body disposal, she's also sloppy with her note burning.
Yeah, she forgets to burn the most important note.
She does.
Basically. Mm-hmm. This is also like another one of those creeping up on you horrors of this arc. This is the point. This is the point. Where not only we know that Ripley did some shit to Percy, we also... I mean, we don't really know this is Ripley yet, do we?
No, we don't.
Not
we just know that someone...
We know that someone working for the Briarwoods has been studying Percy's weapon, and now that Silas has observed it with his super vampire eyes, they can make a better prototype of it. A very successful one, as we will find out later.
Yes.
And we know now that that not only is some weird fucked up cursed shit happening to the ground, and some undead vampires, undead giants, whatever, running around, there's also somebody trying to build a gun.
Yes. We also know that whoever it is who built that gun blew their hand off while making it. So we have to be on the lookout for a person with one hand.
Important context clue.
Mm-hmm. This is all very, very artfully done.
This is a mystery now. Gothic horror mystery.
Yes, it's not done in a good way in the Critical Role show, but like, I love this part because there's like 3 or 4 pieces that come together.
Nothing with Ripley on the show is done at all.
No, but this part is so good that because like... I'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, in a couple of episodes when this pays off.
Well, also at the latter half of this episode where it pays off again.
Yeah, a little bit. Yes, we're going to have some additional information this episode. I mean, I feel like Matt planted this clue here, but wasn't sure whether they would find it, so he also planted another clue elsewhere.
Yeah, this feels very optional encounter.
Yeah, this is what happens when you explore the entire map in a video game.
Which is what you always should. Relatedly,
Yep.
they do have an optional encounter here because they get found out by some banshees.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of optional encounters, this is a very, the banshee technically does less damage than the door.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it knocks Percy unconscious, but, it feels
but that's just a gimmick.
It's a gimmick. This feels very, it's not really as much of a combat as it is a puzzle.
Yeah, it's a very quick fight, very not very exciting.
Yes, but they solved the banshee pretty quickly. I do like the banshee because it's very fitting. It's very video gamey. This would be the encounter that you get in a abandoned temple in a graveyard.
Absolutely. This
it's
fits the environment. This is also when Laura and Travis come in during the combat when Percy is down, and they have apparently been listening to Critical Role in the car, which
don't think about that too hard.
It's 2015. How do they have phones that can run Twitch and have the connection to watch that in the car?
Don't think about it too hard.
How technologically advanced are you guys over there?
Maybe they had a laptop. Don't think about it too hard.
How would the laptop have the connection to watch this?
Don't think about it too hard, too hard. Don't think about it too hard, too hard.
I had a smartphone in 2015. It wasn't very smart.
No.
I don't think I could watch YouTube on it. Leave it on Twitch, leave it on live stream. I mean, I could watch YouTube, it's just that the phone would have exploded.
Yes.
The same how, the analog phones could do internet, but you would also, bankrupt your entire family for 3 generations for ever connecting to the internet with your flip phone.
Yeah. I remember when Critical Role, when I got a notice that something had happened in 2016, a pretty big thing happened in Critical Role land when I was in a poetry reading, and I had to run back to watch the episode on my laptop because I couldn't put it on my way back. I had to run home.
So you couldn't watch it on your phone?
No, I couldn't watch it on my phone in 2016.
That is very reassuring, thank you.
I think I could watch it on my phone a couple months later, or at least watch pieces of it, not very well, but I did not have the ability to watch it on the go, no. I would have had to be in an apartment watching it on my phone. I would need a stable connection.
Yeah. So, back to the point, Laura and Travis have been listening to everything and now come into the room. Travis is baby-faced, it is shocking to see.
Shocking. Sheared like a sheep.
Yeah, and they kind of burn and carve the Derolo sigil, a part of the Derolo sigil, into the Palo Temple now.
Yes, very later in this episode they will realize, should we be doing all of this? But right now it doesn't occur to them.
Not quite yet, so they just carve something in there. I mean, chances are nobody's going to check out the temple, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, especially with the body in there, which they do not get rid of.
Yeah, if Ripley has been using this as a base of operations for the time being, nobody's going to come check it out.
No. Also, for the record, they have a little sun sigil, which does not look like a vaginal canal.
It does not. I will have to redact that later on. Taliesin shows us the Derolo family crest in its entirety, which does have the tree stem, and the implications are there-ish, but it doesn't look as bad as it does on the show.
No, and what I will also say that I really like about Taliesin Jaffe is that he's such a fucking nerd. Because what he says is he knows how family sigils work, okay? He knows that that it's not just one symbol. It's every family has a slightly different design. It's very this is a part of the sigil. It's not that specific. Their family is a very specific version of it. There's other branches, which I really like. It adds a nice layer of depth to it.
Oh yeah.
The complete sigil and what the family uses are different things. They just are they have similar themes, but they're not the same.
Yeah, and on their way back home from the graveyard, Percy also fails his stealth check, so he is approached. He's actually the thing that I talked about earlier that might be a good filler episode actually happens, where is this the enforcer that is this Vuk?
Yes, I think this is Vuk or Vok. This is him.
Vuk Strono.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey.
Throno stops him on the street and is like, who the fuck are you? Do you have a job? Why are you looking at me like that? Go make yourself useful.
And
like,
the name he gives?
Reggie.
Reggie! I love Reggie. And you could tell that, like, I think Marisha gives him shit for it too. She's like, Reggie? He's like, yeah, I'm not, that was the first thing I could think of. Reggie. He looks so apologetic to say Reggie too. Basically, he starts to tell him, and Vox says, shut up.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to come up with a good cover story, but like, if I were Vox, I mean, he doesn't really get to, huh? I would just want to know where this random new person lives, and whether they've been paying their taxes.
Yeah, totally.
This is how the tax audit filler episode starts, where they also have to do hijinks to keep them from checking the basement.
Yes. Which, again, they should have just said that they're, like, staying with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
they make it back home.
Yeah, back at home base.
Marisha has spent all this time not doing anything. You can see she's a little fed up with it and now wants to do something cool.
Yes.
Whether casting a level 5 damage spell at a dead tree is the right call here is like...
questionable, but I understand the reasoning, because the whole thing is that, like, they've poisoned the land. Something on the land is wrong. Like, there's vampires in this place. There's literally vampires in the dirt, as we'll see. Something is not wrong and she wants to purify it. So she has the idea of sort of finishing it off with a sunlight spell.
A sunbeam, specifically,
a sunbeam.
Not sunlight.
Yeah, sunbeam,
which is an attack spell.
An attack spell. And also this tree's not doing so hot.
Yeah. She wants to wrap it up with her druid goodness and shove it where the sun don't shine. And
which also sounds kind of sexual, I'll be honest with you. Revving up her druid goodness.
Yeah. Anyways,
that sounds like fingering to me. If somebody was like, I'm gonna rev you up with my druid goodness, it's like, so you want...
It sounds like fingering to you.
Fingering? It sounds like fingering to me? If I was in a lineup and somebody was like, Bal, rev it up with your druid goodness, what does it mean? I would have to think for a couple minutes, but then I'd probably be like, fingering?
Really?
I mean, what would you say?
Would you finger it, or would it finger you?
See, to me, rev up, I would think you putting your fingers in something and kind of getting it going. Which to me, again...
but that's not wrapping it up, that's just putting something inside. If anything, your fingers
revving it up. Revving it up.
Oh.
Because she's like, I'm gonna rev... Oh, she thinks she said wrap it up. I thought... That makes sense. I thought she said rev it up. It's like, like you rev up an engine.
Like, this is a miscommunication here, because I've been figuring out what's going to be wrapped here, because there's still sexual acts implied, but the anatomy is different.
No, wrap it up with your druid goodness is to, like, probably use some sort of natural condom.
Sure.
I don't know, what would you think? What does wrap it up with my druid goodness be?
It's still about fingering, but you're not the finger.
Oh, yes, that's true. That makes more sense. So just remember, rev it up with your druid goodness, that's fingering someone. Wrap it up with your druid fingers. Damn it! Wrap it up with your druid goodness. That means you allow yourself to be fingered.
I'm sorry, I'm adding sexual humor and description of sexual acts to the content warnings.
Is this even sexual humor? I don't even think this is funny anymore.
We made it sexual!
Oh, no, I don't debate the sexual part.
Okay.
I'm debating the humor part.
Okay, that's fair.
Moving on.
That is very fair.
The tree catches on fire.
Nobody's getting fingered yet. Someone's probably going to get fingered in that particular basement when it becomes a tourist attraction, but no one is getting fingered there just yet.
No.
Instead, Keyleth, shoots the sun laser at the tree and sets it a little bit on fire, and instead of yelling at her for being the worst incompetent trash of the earth, whatever, Vex is like, is this good? Should we put it out? Can I help you? Is this okay?
Vex is...
She's being nice and supportive.
Yeah, she's very, sugar and spice with Keyleth, but right now she's sugar.
Yeah, I mean... And apparently the flames do bring back life, and also it's just, I have this amazing image of this tree particularly is cursed and dead, you can't bring it up to life, but vegetation just popped up all around it. The tree is now surrounded by a freshly grown jungle, which you can't see because you're underground.
Once again, great tourist trap.
Yeah.
But also, just as soon as it Yeah, it gathers a bit of life, but then it immediately gets drained away. Because it's as though the vampire thing isn't just draining... This is another thing that I like that makes this gothic horror. The vampire thing isn't just draining people of their life, it's draining the city of its life.
Yeah, and it's also another hint we get that there's something under them.
Yes.
Under them and under the sun tree.
We think of now as in terms of vampire, which isn't a bad way to describe the spinning wheel of death as being vampiric in nature. Because they kind of are...
Yeah, but...
Yes?
It kind of is, but it's like a step above. That's where bad shit comes from, including the vampirism, but also the life-sucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's closer to say that vampires are spinning spinning ball of death in nature. Like, they're both coming from the same sort of dimension and the same sort of energy, but the spinning ball of death is more of a concentrated, purified form.
Yeah. It's just like, the vampirism is another symptom of what's wrong.
Yes. But anyway, this is a cool thing. It's another thing that's, like, it's very revealing of the fact that, like, just killing the Briarwoods isn't just... The Briarwoods aren't the only thing that's going on here. Something is more than just... Like, there's a reason why this town is the way that it is, and it isn't just because it's being held by, fascist dictators. Something nebulous, something nefarious is going on.
Yeah, there's a
Fascism.
bigger horror just underneath the town, gothing stuff up or whatever.
Yes.
Gothing it up.
Yes, this town is being forced goth.
Forced gothification, the Vecna
Yes.
Manifesto.
Yes. But, for now, they have made some headway to understanding what the problem is.
Have they?
A little bit. They're starting to understand the periphery of it, the shape of the problem. Anyway, Percy would like to try to use the electrical organ to make his glove. It doesn't really work. It's a neat idea, but, like, it's kind of hard to...
use the organic organ, please.
The organic organ, yes. The organic organ that I got from an organic organism.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt is very clear that, like, that's gonna
The
get...
organics organism's organ?
Yes. Matt's very clear that that's gonna get pretty messy.
Yeah.
And you probably need a lab to do this. You need your workshop to make this work if you don't want this thing rotting.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's been a while, but I think I made the exact same point last episode.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I don't want body parts in my clothing, thank you very much.
Yeah, you have to first make it leather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Percy
So
has the
instead
plan
they
to
move-
kill Carrion, which he found out about from being interrogated briefly, because Carrion and his Vox Trono are the people enforcing
that
taxes and... I'm sorry. They are like enforcing taxes and crop counts and whatever, which seems like a weird way to do agriculture, but I have no idea how farming works.
Who can say? I don't think vampires know very much about how farming works. But also, I love this also because it means that they are starting from the outskirts and sort of working their way to the inner circle. So they're starting off with sort of like the least bad, not the least bad, but the least like...
Actually, they're kind of starting with the one that the townspeople are going to be the most actively oppressed by in their day-to-day lives, right?
Yes, but also someone who like knows the least about the Briarwoods and is like
Yeah.
least affiliated with the inner circle, is most affiliated with the outer circle, with sort of like managing the townsfolk, which at the end of the day we know the Briarwoods are mostly thinking of as like not really that important, like a resource, but like the town is what they want. They want the castle, they want the ziggurat, they don't want really the town itself. It's mostly a distraction for them.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the dude that does that grunt work. He doesn't have anything to do with the forced gothification. He just runs the day-to-day business, exploiting the people.
Yes, weirdly enough, it seems like Vox knows a little bit more than he does. Vostrono. He knows more than them. More than Carrion, necessarily. And again, that's not very much.
I mean, to be fair, we never really find out how much Carrion actually knows. He kind of goes flat before that.
Yes. But before they make a plan to go attack Sir Carrion. But before they go and do this, Percy does something very special. What's that special thing, Jana?
What?
He gets a cough.
Yeah, he gets corrupted.
Takes his first point of corruption. And this corruption is going to be
They go
so
to sleep
good.
and they go to sleep and Matt is like, it's very cold in this underground place that you've dug up, which sure, you have to huddle for warmth, and also Percy now is a point of corruption.
Yes. These rolls are gonna be so good. These rolls are so delicious, and they work so well for the plot. Percy just keeps failing them. So right now he's becoming a little crueler. And he has a cough.
For now he just has a bit of a cough.
Yeah. But also I think Matt says he's getting a little bit more cruel, a little bit more inclined to hurt before he kills. Not necessarily uncontrollably, but a little bit. Something is getting to him.
Yeah.
So they have a very short break.
Yep, it's actually very quick. Like, you first get a very short fan-art reel, but we have one. Thank you for sharing with us your incredible art.
Yeah, we have an art reel. We have a couple of ads, but, like, not very much. Matt says it's a tight 5 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it is a tight 5 minutes.
I don't know, the bit about Batman and Robin just went on forever from what I recall.
I mean, it does go on forever, but it's not a 15-minute break.
That is true.
After the break, they all come back. Everyone's very concerned about Percy.
Yep. Keyleth offers him some good berries, which do sound like they would be a very good cough drop.
They would. I bet they'd make your throat all numb and tasty.
Yeah. They then go back into their seeming alter egos, and I will say that maybe, if you don't want to attract attention, maybe don't walk around as a group of 6 with a donkey, weirdos.
Like, what is the thing from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Don't herd together, you're not antelopes. Yeah, split apart.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Yes, I agree. By the way, this is unrelated. Do you think Goodberries could get rid of a UTI?
Yes.
I bet they could, right?
Honestly, I kind of picture them like cranberries anyways.
Exactly. But, like, cranberries, I'm pretty sure can get rid of a UTI, but, like, not that well.
I think
I'm pretty sure
cranberries are, like, somewhat antibacterial or something, so they can help, but they don't really solve your UTI. But we kind of do it anyways, because whatever. Good berries
I
would
also
be
think that it's like
curative.
It's a bit like anti-flu stuff and anti-cold stuff, where like most of the time those go away on their own.
Menthol and eucalyptus and stuff.
Yeah, like most of the time, if you take like an anti-flu, like a vitamin C supplement or something, that cold is probably gonna go away on its own or kill you. So, like, people take it and they're like, but it made me feel better. My flu went away. And it's like, yeah, it was going to go away anyway.
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah, it does that, hopefully. So yeah, I feel like most UTI things are like that, where it's like, it either goes away or it doesn't without antibiotics. And if you're taking
wear the red shoes when you meet, and you will meet your soulmate.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that one. Love that episode.
Yeah, I don't so much, but that's because I'm poisoned by shipping discourse.
I am poisoned by shipping discourse, but I like that. I still have strong memories of that one being like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Sokka's right.
Sokka is often right, and in this episode he wasn't even the asshole. I mean, he was a bit of an asshole about this, but
he was right.
Like, yes. In this episode, it was good that he was a bit of an asshole about it.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to be a bit of an asshole, and that's rare that you can say that about not Scanlan, Sokka.
Either or.
Call that a Freudian slip.
Works for both.
Anyway, Vex is Scanlan dad, Vex is the grandma.
With the crazy eyes.
With a crazy eye, he's her seeing eye boy.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to...
There's a part where, like, Keyleth is very concerned about Percy and asks, like, is he running a fever while touching him? And Matt is like, no, he's actually quite cold and clammy. And she goes, ew, and starts wiping her hand on Taliesin.
Yeah, once again, compare this to the
complete
thumbnail?
lack of interaction. Oh, wait, okay, yeah, the thumbnail.
The thumbnail is just so, I'm so concerned about the path that you're going down. Whereas in this one, it's just like, ew.
I can save you from your darkness.
Ew, you're sticky. Ew, come here, I'm gonna wipe my hand off on your coat. Ew, gross.
I hate myself a little bit, but also I have a Sasusaku gift for this occasion.
Oh, of course you do.
Of course
Send
I do.
It over.
He's also probably clammy during this. I mean...
So they go to see, they go to the ladies' chamber?
I'm sorry, you made me look for the GIF, and now people have animated fan art, and I am happy. Oh
no,
sorry.
Guys. She's going down the rabbit hole.
Oh God.
There we go.
This isn't good. This isn't good for. Oh, there it is. Well,
okay,
part
she found
of it. No part of it. Only his stupid eye. The part where she hugs him and he becomes better from this weird possession thing isn't on it. Just a stupid eye. Oh, there it is. Gotcha.
Of course. There it is. God, that is what they're doing. Yeah, that is the thumbnail. Just, hug from behind. I can fix you.
It's not even what she does there, but this would go too far.
Yes.
God, you just. Can we talk about She-Ra just so we can hit my OTP quad factor?
Oh God! You know what's weird? How we've never talked about Artemis Fowl on this podcast.
Yeah, we never talked about your youthful sins.
Yeah, I have many youthful sins. So many youthful sins. So many problematic ships. Not Artemis/Butler. That part is too problematic even for young Bal.
Wait, what?
People used to ship Artemis Fowl, the 12-year-old, and his bodyguard Butler.
Of course they did.
The name of the bodyguard was Butler. He's not a butler.
I know. And it was called Schmuttler?
I don't know.
If so, choice name, really good, stick with it.
I don't think it was called Schmuttler, but that is a name. And also it was a ship, I guess, a bad one.
Yeah, of all the bad ships, this one is bad.
Yeah, so before you judge me for my childhood sins, remember, I was in a situation where the other ships were much worse.
Hey, I'm partial to that girl who showed up in book 5 or so and then was unceremoniously dropped.
She was great! I think she supposedly ran off with a skier or something. She was unceremoniously dropped off, mostly because the Phantom was cruel to her, of course. But she was cool, I liked her.
Mm-hmm. It was like the second Artemis Fowl book I read. I read the first one, was like, I don't know, this type of fantasy is a little bit too earthy for me, I don't like it. And then in a summer camp, somebody had the book with a girl, and I was like, oh yeah, a girl, I like it.
Yeah,
I
book
like
5.
a girl. I hope she's
she was
going
cool.
to continue to be in the series.
Nope.
And then she wasn't.
The only book she was in. Which sucks. I remember I skipped that book for a very long time because I didn't know that they went past 4. And anyway, I was told that she was terrible and I wouldn't like her and this book sucks. And then I read it and I was like, oh, she's great.
She's just Artemis but a girl.
Yes. And has a little bit more people sense than him because she's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked her and she was fine.
Yep.
Anyway. Fandom misogyny.
Yeah, so what were we doing?
We were talking about them going to see...
Yeah, he's cold and clammy, and little boy Scanlan is a little too convincing. He has so much fun. He looks so much like his own child while doing this. It's amazing.
And also...
Sam just, his child looks like his clone.
As Liam O'Brien says, Gavroche.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell.
Full Gavroche energy.
How do you do? My name's Gavroche.
Full Gavroche energy. So many people, here's my patch. Nothing to look at, nothing posh. Nothing that you call up to scratch.
Yeah, and that's basically what he's doing.
How do I know this more than you do?
I don't know. I never got super into Les Miserables.
I mean, neither did I. I just got into the Nostalgia Chick video about it.
That's true. Anyway, good choice, by the way. We need to move forward. They go to see Keeper Yenin in the ladies' chamber.
Before that is a pretty important scene.
Yes, what is the scene?
Where they, or is this after?
No, it's before. I know what you're talking about. Where they ask for directions from a couple.
Just ask a random woman for directions, and they make it, and the woman is very, very nice to Kid Scanlan and very concerned about his dad whipping him and his grandma being really mean to him.
Yeah, and it's very clear that these people are not doing well either, but they're just I mean, we're doing badly, but we're not excusing child abuse badly, you know?
Yep. And stay away from the house with a child eating countess in it.
Yes. They're just very clearly they still care.
They dropped that from the cartoon, didn't they?
Yes, they did. But yeah, they're very clearly just, like, they still care. This is not a town full of jaded people who could care less if anyone lives or dies. They still want things to be better, and they still hope for things to be better. And this is not the only time that this happens. Every time they do the abused child act, someone inevitably is like, hey, what the fuck? I know things are bad, but...
Okay, first of all, never mind the vampire shit. We have to talk about how you treat your son. That's
not cool. You should clean up. You shouldn't treat a boy like that. And you go, oh yeah, this is why we like Whitestone. As compared to Amon, it's now full of assholes. It's full of people who are really, really fucking traumatized. A lot of bars in this city, but, yeah, this is a city with, like, 2 temples, I think later 3 temples, but a lot of bars.
Ironically, they say in this episode this isn't a pub town.
It is. It's just not they're just not pubs as much as they are a place where you can get some brown stuff to drink that will make you feel better for the rest of the day. But yeah, it's if it wasn't a pub town before, it is a pub town now. Anyway, this is all just to say, Whitestone's full of nice people.
Yeah. Who really care that you're abusing a child, which
and
is
would
nice.
Wish you wouldn't. We would wish you wouldn't. Please don't smack that child, old woman. He's a nice boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now they go to,
the ladies?
Now they go to Keeper Jana.
Again.
In the ladies' chamber.
In the ladies' chamber, which definitely sounds like a brothel.
It absolutely does. The chamber is also an amphitheater for some reason.
Which also doesn't make sense for Arathis, because she's the whole building person. She loves buildings.
Yeah, make her a fancy building. She and Palo should just swap places here.
Yeah, they should swap seats, but they don't. But we meet Keeper Jana.
Who is a man.
Who's a cleric of Arathis.
Yes. Should he have been Gina Torres all along? Sure.
Yeah, but he's not.
Is he? No.
He is kind of obnoxious. We're told that Percy's family knew him before, but not in, like, a terrible way. He just has strong beliefs and morals, and he sticks to them in a way that can be a little bit... Yeah?
Yeah. He can be obnoxious, but he's also not much of a doormat, which is probably why he's still practicing.
Yeah, you've written here Palor is Catholic, Arathis is Protestant, which, explains why Keeper Jana swapped from one to the other.
That too, but I get this whole vibe from the town that is very Northern European vibes. Mm-hmm. When you have 2 churches in a town, and you usually always do, one is Catholic, one is Protestant, and yeah, the Catholic one is the one that's going to get closed first when the fascists take over. Mm-hmm.
There's a joke that's about how a Jewish person gets washed out on a deserted island, and he builds 2 buildings. Guess what those buildings are?
From this context, one is probably a church.
One is a synagogue that he goes to, and another synagogue that he wouldn't be caught dead in.
Oh god, same hat?
Yeah, exactly. If there's a town that has 2 churches, and one that you go to, and the other that you wouldn't be caught dead in.
Yeah, pretty much. And just, the way that Arathis is like about, in this case, keep on keeping on, just stiff upper lip work ethic, keeps things moving, and no fun allowed.
No fun allowed, just keep working, and eventually we'll be liberated.
Eventually maybe there was going to be help. Whereas, like, Palor is like, I'm not saying it's better, of course I'm not saying it's better, especially like the daddy vibes, worshipping daddy, and then have some harvest festivals or something. That's the Catholic vibes.
It's
and again,
super Catholic vibes.
When somebody starts taking over, historically the Catholics bite it first.
Mm-hmm.
At least in like the Northern European places that Whitestone is inspired by.
Yes. And I will say that it does
vibes.
explain, I do love the sort of journey the sort of quiet behind the scenes journey of, like, Keeper Jana being, like, involved in this rebellion and then going, hey, wait a minute! Arathis never did come to help me. I had to help myself. I'm gonna go over to the Church of Palor.
Not how this usually goes. Usually people convert the other way, but hey, you do you.
You do you. Anyway, it's a nice story that's happening behind the scenes. I also really love this scene, by the way. Such a good scene.
They now engage in religious-ish spy doublespeak.
Mm-hmm.
And Percy's being such a little shit. Like, he is just eating this up.
And he's doing a great job, but he's, like, so trying to be cool.
It is very try-hard.
I also love this because, like, it is revealed to be so try-hard by the fact that basically he's like, look for signs, people are helping, do you think that anyone will come? I think somebody will come. And he gives Keeper Jana a note And then he goes like, what does he say? I think he says,
Look for signs. Signs for what?
salvation. And then he walks away.
Oh no, not even gravely, just like salvation.
Yeah, salvation.
And then everyone in the background is like,
"Ooh, it's so good, it's so good." But then he tries to walk away.
Percy Mycroft.
And Keeper Yennon, who's not in an action movie, goes, wait, no, come back here. Where are you going? No, you stay here. What does this mean? And just shows him the sign and is like, what? You need to explain this to me. I am not in an action movie.
Perhaps things that are dead are actually alive. Perhaps unalive stuff is alive underneath the city. It's just like...
Perhaps things mean things and are alive. And have you considered maybe the things that are dead are not dead?
That what is dead may never die?
Food for thought. And he walks away. But it's very funny to me. I'm very fond of it because he has such a cool line that it immediately gets fumbled because no, this is not that kind. This is not an action movie, my man.
Yeah. Also, he does give Keeper Yennon the Palor symbol, like just the sun with the 5 stars. I'm just saying, maybe this is inspiring some religious conversion. Maybe Keeper Yennon isn't the brightest candle on the cake and got the wrong message here.
Maybe.
And that's how you turn Catholic.
And that's how you turn Catholic. Anyway, after this... Sorry, I just saw your, he's looking cold and kind of clammy and coughing a lot. I can't not fuck him.
It's slimy. This is basically what Vex
He's
does
slimy.
now. She's like, Keyleth, can you try and help him? He looks like cold and slimy and he's coughing.
I can't not fuck him.
I already have the song for the playlist. We need to fix this now.
Yeah, can you make him less slimy, but still make him look kind of sad and rumpled? I'm kind of into that part.
He needs to look haunted.
He looks more... Can you make him more haunted sad instead of sick sad?
Yeah, this is kind of killing the vibe.
I can't fuck him like this.
I mean, I can.
I can and I will. I can't believe I have to fuck him like this. Vex, you don't have to. No, I will.
I can't not fuck him. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, then they try to make a battle plan, and basically, like, in essence, go to place that Carrion is in, kill everyone inside, maybe leave or maybe spend the night. We will sort that out later.
Which, again, I don't know how they ever thought that was a possibility. To slaughter someone and then just sort of spend the night at their house? What did you think? How did you think this was gonna work?
I don't know. I don't get it either. Like, I mean, if you do a stealth job and no one notices that, like, a gajillion guards and this guy in charge of the harvest just died, then maybe you could spend the night there, but not the way they're doing it.
Yeah, and also, why would you? Like, if you do such a clean job that nobody notices, why would you stay there? You should leave and then cover the tracks and kill someone else before they get noticed.
Yeah.
You shouldn't stay there. Someone's gonna come check. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
No, this is a bad plan from the get-go. This is very flawed. But at the very least, they don't commit to it.
I mean, I'm already kind of confused why they don't just commit to their basement with the roots. Like, hello, guys.
I agree, it's a good basement.
We have a place. This is a place now. You have a place.
It's cozy.
Place.
You have blankets. You made a blanket for it. You've each made a little divot that you sleep in.
Rock has peed in a corner.
Yes, he has a pee corner. It's fine. There's a bucket.
With water, presumably.
With water, presumably. Just go back to your place. It's fine. So they go, and they're gonna go kill Sir
Carrion Stonefell? Wait.
Yes.
Stonefield, the other, no, Tylerian Webmeyer are the other one, so this is Carrion Stonefell, yes, okay.
This is Carrion Stonefell.
Yeah, it starts raining and Keyleth starts skipping until everybody tells her to stop it because it's not a happy place. She also has a really, really cute heart-to-heart with Percy about stuff.
Yeah, it's cute. You followed me into the fiery abyss. If that's not a sign I'm crazy, I don't know what is.
Yeah, God.
They're cute. They're such good friends.
Yeah.
They're nice. They have a nice relationship. Grog is throwing a dust of tracelessness, but instead of doing the flower girl routine, he's kind of shaking it out, just very subtly. Everyone's trying to change their routine.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, and they make it over to the mansion, which has like a there's a specific word. Wrought iron?
Wrought iron, yeah.
Yeah, this kind of fence, and Grog is going to pry that open, and Keyleth heats the metal for it first, and he burns his hand, but she heals him, and Grog this is real, but also okay, cool. I just feel like...
It's fine. This whole thing is very moody. It's a very moody situation.
I feel like this would probably make a lot of noise.
For sure.
Bending the metal like that.
And probably, like, the water hissing off of it now that because it's raining.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, with the water hissing off of it, that might cause some fog that makes them harder to see.
Yeah, but, like, it's just a weird thing to do subtly, and also it's gonna be a lot of noise. But this is Dungeons and Dragons, and we're just gonna pretend that nobody heard that.
Yeah, let's just, yeah. So they make it inside and sneak inside, and at some point, the audio freezes. Or, like, everything freezes.
Yes, it does.
It's a cute little freeze frame. We learn that Vex has bigger ears than Vex, which goes against every headcanon everyone has.
It is.
Wait,
it goes.
No, it doesn't actually.
My headcanon.
No, oh
mine.
God, I mixed that up. It works, because if he has bigger ears, that means he does look elfier than her.
It does. It does. My headcanon is that he's more elf passing.
Yeah,
I have evidence.
He's more elfy than her.
Every time that he's kind of weird about their classes, it just makes me feel like, this is weird. There's some racial stuff going on here.
Yeah, well.
Not that they're aware of it, I just like to interpret that. I just like to put more depth on it that there is. Because I like these characters and I want to participate in this world.
Yes. Then something hilarious happened, because they kind of happened upon a strategy meeting of like, there'll be infiltrators in this town and we need to get ready so they don't catch us unawares.
Meanwhile, they are catching them unawares.
And everyone is like, oh, this is going to be hilarious.
Yes.
They rile up Grog.
They picked the perfect time to kill him.
Yeah. Then Vex does a thing where he grabs Keyleth and Grog, and Vex is offended and hurt.
Yes. It's very funny. I also don't know exactly where this happens, but at some point they're, like, describing what they're going to do, and, like, Grog is just beaming. I mean, Travis is beaming.
Yeah.
So beatifically. He just looks so happy.
He's so excited to kill
He's so excited. What does he say, like...
It's opening night.
And I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
There we go.
I just can't hide it.
He's just a girl on her... He's a girl on her quinceañera.
Yeah, I'm also, like, Sam is also very good with the songs this episode, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
He then turns glorious food into glorious blood, and carries that on for a while, and it's good.
And you have a story.
Yeah, if we don't really have the time, we just had this song in English class in 7th grade, and I was the only one who understood the lyrics, and everybody else thought it was a love song. I mean, it is a love song, but, like, for food, and not one you would kiss your boyfriend to.
No.
So, yeah, Tobias L., if you're listening to this, I hope you're embarrassed.
We can hope one day. And now, a room full of bloodthirsty peasants storms the room.
Yep.
But it's actually something happens here that I really, really like, which is that Percy gets off a shot, and Vok or Kieran, I can't quite remember which one, goes, Ripley?
That's later.
That's later? Okay.
I mean, we can just wrap up the entire combat a little bit. Like, they start with a surprise round, which I think drops a guard and dominates another, and just, this whole combat is actually pretty quickly. We learn pretty soon that Percy's gun wants to shoot Carrion, and he's on the gun, so that's what happens. He also goes extremely smoky about it, and at some point, as you said, he does shoot Carrion, and somebody's like, Ripley! Which is another context clue that the one who's been building the guns is Ripley. Yes.
And also it's a very fun thing, because it's just like, yeah, they don't know the Vox Machina is here. They don't really know who Vox Machina is. They're not in that inner circle, so they see a gun, and their immediate thought is, Ripley's figured it out, guys. Which tells you, in case they didn't see that earlier thing, I don't know, I just like it. It's a very fun way of revealing information.
It's neat.
It's fun.
Another good Scandal song happens when they do the surprise round domination, where you just like, you're as cold as ice, willing to sacrifice your boss.
Yeah, it's really good.
That is really good. At some point, Laura and Travis are like, oh, but Vox Trono is so much like Filch. And then he casts a spell, and they're like, no, he doesn't have magic, he's a squib. Kind of punished for using Harry Potter logic, like we all should be.
Yes. Just give it a summary smack on the wrist. No, none of that. Mm-hmm. It's like when...
none of that.
Do you remember when Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, when they were talking about... what is the thing from Game of Thrones? The thing that, like, the person who, like, projects their brains into an animal?
Varging.
Yes. Like, no, Varg is a person who likes it, and then Matt is like, yes, in a specific book series, not in Dungeons and Dragons.
In some continuities.
Not in this one.
Here with all Vargs are not the ones from A Song of Ice and Fire, but from Lord of the Rings.
Yes. It's one of those things. This is not that particular continuity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this combat goes really, really well and really, really quickly.
Yes.
I like, Keyleth goes direwolf while we're being at Game of Thrones things. And at some point it's like one soldier's being eaten by Keyleth, one soldier's being dominated, 2 are invisible. What's going on here, an orgy?
What orgies have you been to where somebody is actively being eaten by a wolf?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I
didn't invent war. Interesting orgy configurations notwithstanding, Keyleth does a smart thing where she does a fairy fire.
Yes. Yes, she does. Less appreciated.
I mentioned before that I like Vox Trono as a name.
Vox Trono is a cool name. Is fairy fire the thing that gets to say, how do you want to do this, or does somebody else get it?
I mean, Percy just kills the dude, so...
He does. And then he gets a great line.
Oh, yeah.
You were the one I was least looking forward to.
It's just a hardcore line to go out on, and, like, just, you get brutally murdered, and the person says, wasn't even that good for me.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, Orthax has a branding problem.
Explain.
Just imagine, if something like Orthax was just a little less weird about the whole vengeance thing.
Vengeance.
Just like less with the smoke and shadows and darkness, and more with the vengeance. Woo! You avenged your family. I believe in you. Just be a little more cheerful, a little less obviously evil about this, and people will be more likely to do your bidding.
But he likes to be obviously evil. He likes it. It's his vibe.
Yes. For Percy it works, but it makes it a little awkward in polite company.
It's like that Spider-Man comic. He doesn't want to, solve cancer. He wants to make people into dinosaurs.
I know this is an aesthetic that especially demons can't really shake off. I'm just saying that you can optimize your performance.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's just move on.
I'm your PR manager. You're a demon, and I'm your PR manager.
Let's just move on.
Okay.
So they kill Carrion.
Yep. Percy goes into a bit of a frantic rage where he tries to cross the name off of his gun barrel, and then the name just fades away magically, which is worse.
Yeah.
So much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tells you this is definitely not a you thing. This is definitely because you do not have magic, my man. You have some magic, but it's not a lot of it, and not that guy.
Not yet, I think.
Yes, eventually he'll get it.
I don't think he has taken the feat yet.
Eventually he will, but right now, that's not you who's doing this.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
And you did not program your gun to do that either. I mean, you did, but, like, not on a tech way.
No, but we have one person left from this slaughter, and it is
technically two, but like one of them is dominated.
Yes, one of them is dominated and being made by Scanlan to go look at the wall while they talk about this.
And also tell everyone else in the house that everything is fine. No need to worry.
Fine, don't worry. Which, considering that they burned this house down.
Well, we've gone over before that taking hostages and interrogating them is always bad.
Yes, though at this point I will
D&D.
say...
It's just, yeah.
I felt that this part I was slightly more okay with because, when we talk about uncomfortableness, there is good uncomfortableness and bad uncomfortableness. I thought this isn't good uncomfortableness, but it is uncomfortableness that I'm more comfortable with. Because they are saying something in this. They're not saying that the interrogation is good. They're saying... They don't even necessarily say that it brings consequence, that it's beneficial. Literally, they're just doing it because Percy's very cruel right now, and they feel very cruel and very evil.
I mean, they also just literally need the information to continue with their mission.
Yes. And they don't really get it that well. They get some information, but not very much.
Yeah, they get the information about the Briarwoods are building something in their basement. Fine. The path that Percy took out of the castle still exists.
You already knew.
Yep. And that's basically it. That's everything Vox Machina can tell them.
Yeah, he's very much on the outskirts. He's the assistant to the person in the most outer part of the inner circle, so he doesn't really know very much. Yep. So, to me, this part, it's not necessarily a deconstruction of torture, but it is slightly more interrogating on the part of what this is even for, because it's very clear that what they're doing isn't for information, because they're not getting very much information. What they're doing this is because they want to hurt him.
Vex doesn't. Vex nopes out of this immediately. Yes. In
character.
And out of character.
But it's clear, because Laura can't really stomach this kind of violence, but it's very clear, and they talk about this. They're not doing this, as much as I am frustrated with Vax in this particular scene, I'm not frustrated with Keyleth, because Keyleth has a point.
Yeah, no, Keyleth has a point. Vax, meanwhile, is the one leading the interrogation. He's the one making the most colorful threats.
Yeah, he's the one threatening to cut this guy's dick off.
Yep, well, to have Grog do that, but as we've mentioned before, telling Grog to do it just means Grog does it. It's what he does.
It's what he does. But he's the most, if not, if you want to argue, I can even make the argument that, Percy's not that into it, because he's sort of, half paying attention and half, scratching a name off his barrel.
He's not available right now.
He's kind of not as available. I'm not going to say that he's not a big component of this. He is. He's very cruel and very corrupted.
No, he does give the final command, but the process to get there is also led by Vax.
Cauterizes his tongue and marks his face. He's very much associated with this. I'm not excusing him either.
Oh, no, absolutely. That's not... I don't mean that at all. Percy is the one calling the final shots here.
Yeah, but I do think it's very interesting that, Percy's doing this. Percy's also doing this on one point of corruption. Vax is not on one point of corruption and is involved, and then changes his tune immediately.
And Grog and Scanlan are just like this.
Yeah, they're like this. And, for better or for worse, at least they stick to their guns.
Mm-hmm. And then I have a bit of an, as we talked about this before the show, a little, before the, recording a little bit, the ensuing debate. So what they do is, Percy's okay, we're ripping this guy's tongue out, I'm cauterizing it so he doesn't bleed out, I'm marking him, I'm putting my mark in his face with my burning gun, and then we throw him out the window. I mean, Grog throws him out the window, that wasn't part of the plan.
And we burn this house down.
That's just what happens, and then, and then they have a conversation about this, where Keyleth very much objects to what just happened, and Vax, who has been the ringleader on doing fun stuff like telling Grog to tear this dude's dick off, is Percival, how could you?
Yeah, and again, I don't want to say that
Percy... I might be willing to overlook what just happened for all the things you have been through. But be careful, or you're going to be worse than the people you're trying to get rid of. Oh!
Yeah, and I don't want to excuse this by saying, oh, Percy was not involved. Percy was very much involved in this, but also it's just dude, you were the guy you were involved in, you were doing this a second ago, and now you're saying, I can, it feels so condescending and so outwardly, hypocritical, just you were into it
in ways that I don't think anyone ever mentions, and I don't think, I don't think it's a purposeful character flaw of Vax, because every time you try to make Liam admit to a character flaw of Vax, he's too self-sacrificing.
He just loves his family too much. Oh. Whereas,
Those are Vax's canonical character
No.
flaws. The hypocrisy is not part of it.
No, that he's a big hypocrite, and that he assumes things of the people that he loves, and assumes that he knows what's best for them, which are his genuine flaws. He assumes that he knows what's best for them, and he is genuinely very self-sacrificial, but, like, that is a flaw of his, in addition to him being a big hypocrite and assuming and, taking actions on the behalf of people that he thinks is best.
I also think that Liam doesn't understand self-sacrificialness as a flaw the way we understand it as a flaw.
No, that we know that it hurts people, genuinely hurts people in a way that they can't really heal from. Whereas he thinks of it as more as, like, a very Christian kind of getting up on the cross, and you're just like, I'm doing this for you!
Yeah, you can kind of you can kind of tell that Liam was raised Catholic.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, no, I agree, and this part is very frustrating to me. It's also frustrating to me because there's 3 arguments happening, and they're getting reduced down to 2. The 3 arguments are like, let's go ahead and torture this guy, send him on the road, and, like, burn this house down. There's another argument that's like, let's not burn this house down because that's gonna really call attention to us, which is fair. And there's a whole other argument.
But you also already have thrown the guy out, and there's more guards in here who are only going to be convinced for so long, so...
Yeah. These are both fair arguments. There's also an argument that's like, should we even be doing this? Which is, like, a good argument, but also, we already did. It already happened. I'm sorry. Like, the thing that I said in our conversation was, you can't, once you've slaughtered the cow, you can't talk about how you don't want burgers. Like, sorry, we did it. Like, we can talk about what we can do in the future, but, like, which I honestly think is what Keyleth is trying to say. Let's not go this far down again.
Let's try not mutilating the people we have to kill in the future.
But it gets...
Please and thank you.
It gets completely sidetracked, because what Vax wants to say is, I don't really feel like eating burgers right now. I, who held the cow down while you slaughtered it?
I am actually a vegetarian.
And I've been this whole time.
I've been a vegetarian ever since I met this girl who's a vegetarian.
Yes, and Keyleth's not even a vegetarian, but, like, yeah, it's exactly the vibe.
No.
And she's just like, and she's not even arguing for vegetarianism. She's just saying, this was fucked up, let's not do this again. And he's like, this was so fucked up, and I can't believe you do this, you shame. Again, you can tell that Liam was raised Catholic. And it's just, I don't know, it's very frustrating.
Are you calling me a snitch?
No, you're not a snitch, but Liam definitely is. It just, I don't know, it's very guilt-focused, it's very shameful, it's very hypocritical.
These scenes would hit a lot better if they were left to Keyleth and her morality instead of whatever Vex has to say about it after noticing that she doesn't like what just happened.
Yes, exactly. Like, he's not really leading the argument in any particular way, he's just muddling it. He's just making it more about his feelings rather than...
He also just flat out ends up making stuff up about this dude they just did this to.
He's suffering,
these people have all been eating shit, and no, you've just heard him say that he's part of the incursion, he's part of the forces brought in to kill Percy's family.
And yeah, you don't need to...
He's not an exploited peasant.
No, he's the boss, he's the one who's collecting the things. Like, you could argue that doesn't justify that he gets tortured, obviously.
Absolutely.
But, like, he's not an innocent.
That's
not what we're talking about here.
They did not do this to a random exploited peasant who just did what he had to survive. This guy was part of the incursion. He was hired onto this project to take out Percy's family, take over the city, and has since then been in charge for his boss to enforce the farming quotas on the population.
Yeah.
He is not high up in the chain of command, but high enough that he has personally inflicted bad on the people here.
Which is like...
So, like, they didn't kill an innocent, or torture an innocent, and, like, this doesn't justify the torture, but is a somewhat different crime from what they actually did.
Yeah, and you can tell this because, like, you remember, I think this is later on, but when they find the person who killed the children to make, the replicas of Scanlan, or the replica of Scanlan. They killed the child. This is only one in this version. And Vax hears that and immediately slits his throat. And it's like, okay, so we can agree that, like, these people are not innocents. They've done terrible stuff. But, like, this person...
And I'm pretty sure we got more backstory of that person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no.
But don't know... but, like, we'll talk about this when we get to that. And I don't even disagree with slitting the throat of people who will kill children and string them up on trees.
Yeah.
In this
but
specific
by
context.
your logic, by the logic of this argument, that would not be justifiable. Because you just said they've just been eating shit they're victims too. And, like, I'm not arguing with that. But just think about that, like...
Some of them. This dude wasn't much.
This dude wasn't much.
Yeah.
And, like...
I mean, this dude wasn't a victim until Vox Machina got to him.
Yes, and what they got... and I'm not justifying what they did to him, but also... feels to me like you have a very... your moral compass goes 360 degrees, you know?
His moral compass points true north if that's where Kira is standing at the time.
Yes, and if she's looking at what he's doing. Which I don't think... I don't think is a bad character decision. It's just that I don't think Liam knows that he's doing this.
Yeah.
Anyway, they burn the house down.
They do. Keyleth does it. Keyleth can be convinced to do it.
And
it's cool.
Notably, I will say, I don't think Vex really does the call. I think they've sort of come to that decision already. But I do like that Vex is like very little input and just sort of sitting back and hearing this and goes like, we're burning the house down. And I'm like, okay,
burning the house down, we're getting this done. Chop, let's get out of here.
Just, yep, leader has made a decision. We've heard all the voices, now we act. And it feels very, very pragmatic to me of just like, listen, we've killed the cow, let's make some steaks. Yep.
Half of you get steaks, the other half gets burgers. Mm-hmm. We'll live with this.
Tomorrow we can be vegetarians, but right now let's fire up the grill. We're burning this house down. And
this metaphor works in so many ways. It's amazing.
Thank you. They have beef tongue. And that's more or less where we end the episode, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I think Vex does some religious stuff.
Sure,
whatever.
He also doesn't.
And he also tells first God, No, he doesn't. He's being Catholic. That's how I got here. By telling Percy that his soul doesn't have to be forfeit. And, like, legally speaking, dubious statement.
Legally speaking, I mean, yes and no. Yes, he signed a contract, but also he was not conscious for that contract and did not sign it knowingly, so theoretically, no. This is again why you should... Thank you. This is again why you should be Jewish about this and not Catholic, because, again, this is all about legalities.
I don't think Catholicism prevents you from looking at the legalities of stuff. You just also have to repent for the bad stuff you do.
Yes, but if you're going to be religious about this for some reason, this is a bad choice. There are other religions you could be about that will help you in this situation a lot more.
Yeah, like, just accepting the bad terms that have been forced upon you and not questioning them or trying to get out of it is a very... I'm not even going to say Catholic, it's just plain old Christian.
Yeah.
Like,
up I go on the cross!
A Protestant would do this differently. It is very much where Vex is headed, and I am mad about it.
Yeah, get down from that cross, boy. Nobody is making you climb it. Oh no, it's so sad.
This makes so much sense. Mm-hmm. I've never really, but oh god, yeah.
God. Yes. For all that Liam O'Brien talks like an old Jewish man, he's not an old Jewish man. He does not act like an old Jewish man.
His last name is still O'Brien.
It's still O'Brien, he's still Irish. But yes, Scanlan is actually the person to ask, is that last barrel for you?
Because sometimes, especially when it comes to the dark, fucked up places of people's minds, he has a good mind for people.
He does, and he also asks this in a not very serious way.
Yeah, but that's how he can get away with asking these questions.
Exactly.
This is a tactic.
This is how Scanlan does these things. He's a bard. He asks them.
He's a little birthday boy.
He's a little birthday
Krillin,
boy.
Everyone's friend.
Yes. So he asks us in a way that kind of like, if he's pushed on it, it could sound like a joke. He says it in a kind of silly voice, but it is a genuine question, and he also does not get an answer.
Yeah, he doesn't get an answer. The cartoon gives him an answer, which is stupid.
Yes. I still, by the way, love the answer that Percy gives in the real campaign, which is that we'll get to it when we get to it, but it's not for him. It's what he thought about it as is the barrel representing all the people that he will inevitably kill directly or indirectly in his journey for vengeance, which is just like, ooh, that's delicious. I love you.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is, We will be talking about the nature of vengeance later on. I've already posted a Sasusaku gif, at least in the chat. Should I put this in the notes?
Yes. But I will say,
damn it.
I just really appreciate how, like, when Percy does not need to be told that when you're going on a journey of vengeance, you need to dig 2 graves. He already has the many graves dug. Like, he knows. You don't need to teach him that. He knows.
Like, he doesn't even think it's gonna be 2 graves. Like, him getting a grave, he doesn't even want a grave. Leave him in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, he's dug, like, a whole pit of graves, and even that is not enough, as he's going to learn. It's going to be even worse than he thinks. But that part of the lesson he doesn't need to learn. He knows. He needs to learn other lessons. But yeah, and that's...
God, and that's also so... Oh my god, you're making me have realizations.
About Sasusaku?
No.
What about?
No, but Percy. And the nature of vengeance and the whole... yes. This is good.
Yes.
No, I was just... Okay. How Percy's later on arc is that, yeah, he took the lid off a Pandora's box, the guns are out there now.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to, torture yourself over it and get up on that cross about it every single day of your life, or are you just going to keep on keeping on and try to do the good in the world that you can?
Yeah.
How do you treat the situation?
Yeah.
The Catholic version would be get on that cross, keep self-flagellating about it for the rest of your life. The productive way is...
harm reduction.
You can't... Yeah, harm reduction. Can't squeeze the cream up the udder.
But you can at least make sure that you can do the best that you can to make sure that the cream is a controlled substance. This metaphor breaks down. Why are we having so many metaphors about cows? But yeah, I genuinely think that like Percy's arc is really good in terms of like it's just straight up it's not even a metaphor. It's just straight up about gun control. Like that is what the arc is.
It is also, religiously speaking, the antithesis to what Vax does.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why I think that, like, Percy's not a religious character, ever. And I respect that in some regards, even though he does have Arathis written all over him. Or if you want to, you can make the point that he has Ayun written all over him. But I do think there's some value in him being an a-religious character who's, like, goes in many directions and eventually chooses none, because, like, no, it doesn't fit him. He's not going to climb up on that cross. He's not going to repent the... what does the poem go? He doesn't need to go... He doesn't, like... You don't need to walk for miles on the desert on your knees repenting.
Yeah, because who does that help, huh? It makes
Nobody.
You feel better. Doesn't reduce the harm you've done.
No. And essentially, what he does is establish as much as he can gun control. And that's, like, harm reduction. Mm-hmm. It's the most that he can do. It's not enough, no, but it's something. That's better than getting up on that cross, which has helped no one. So yeah, I really love it. I really appreciate it. Now, we are just on the cusp of that arc. We will have so much more of it going forward.
Oh god, yes. This is, like, we have been talking about this series non-stop for the, like, 5 years we've been talking.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, and we still have breakthroughs. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
So much to talk about.
Be the Mockingjay,
before we, like, be the Mockingjay, don't even get me started!
Yeah. That was manipulative.
That was extremely manipulative, and Travis knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm saying Travis. Travis did this.
Travis did this. Not Grog. Travis. Anyway, before we finish...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What did you want to say?
I didn't want to say anything. I wanted to get us over the finish line.
Okay, yeah, then let's go over the finish line.
Purvan Scale.
Purvan Scale. Purvan Scale.
Woo!
Woo!
The P is for pizzazz.
I'm trying to think.
Matt just had everything drawn up. The entire city of Whitestone. We got the
right.
fancy little bones dangling.
I do love that part where like, Taliesin is like, you had the graveyard drawn up just in case we went there, and Matt's like, I had everything drawn up in case you went there. Like, this whole city's drawn up, and you like, I don't know. It's a fun moment where you're like, oh, you beautiful genius.
And then there's a big pile of maps in the corner, and Matt is like, don't look at it!
Don't look at it! Yeah, so I'm gonna give him points for that, for being a prepared little birdie. 2 points?
Yep. 2 points? 2 points is good. Neat.
The second letter in the Purvan scale is U for uncomfortableness. I mean, we talked about it for a really long time, which is interesting, because I want to subtract points for Mercer straight up saying a slur, but also there's just a torture scene. I mean, it's just straight up a tortured scene. It's complicated by the fact that it does lead to a constructive conversation about, like, why are we even doing this just to harm someone? But I don't think it brings it up to positive points. I do think that it's still negative.
Yeah, so is that a full negative point, half a negative point?
I would say half a negative point, because I do think there's something very constructive about this, about seeing, especially being that this is in 2015, before we were really interrogating this as much as we are now, but, like,
oh yeah,
that this is a torture scene in which, like, they don't really get anything. It's just straight up, objectively, just to hurt someone, and that is in question. That's questioned somewhat. I think that's constructive, and we still don't see that very much.
Yeah, I'm fine with the negative point, negative half a point.
Negative half a point.
And now the R in Purvan is for roleplay and realness.
Oh boy, is the role-playing real.
Oh yeah, we're getting to some real points, like, especially Percy and Keyleth were on this episode.
Yes, they were on this episode. This was a big Keyleth and Percy episode.
Mm-hmm.
I really love...
Big Percy episode and a big Keyleth and Percy episode.
Yes, I love the tree scene. I think the tree scene is fun. It's a good combination of, like, serious and silly. I like the temple scene. It's cheesy. It's delicious.
Oh,
I love the door. I want to give this 1 point. I think I'm leaning towards 3 points. What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, I would also like to have, like, Scanlan as a little boy included in that.
Yeah, it's a good point. So what are you thinking?
And Vex as the crazy-eyed old lady. Like, no one's here to play. Everyone's here to win. Mm-hmm. I find the 3 very justifiable.
Okay, then a 3. Okay, the V in Purvan stands for vexiness. And there's a little bit of vexiness in this one, not a ton.
No, she got her moments, but not. I mean, she was absent for half the episode, so
yeah, and not as much as there will be in the future. I'm leaning towards like maybe not applicable to a half point. What do you think?
Half point is good. Half point for Grandma Crazy Eyes.
Yeah. Okay. What is
Is my turn again?
Yeah, it's your turn again.
Right. The A is for action.
I mean, short and sweet, isn't it?
It didn't feel short to me, but
no. And also, like, I will say the Banshee encounter, while fun, is very optional encounter-y.
Yeah, that was just a random encounter. Though, admittedly, also the Carrion encounter did have a lot of flavor on it to keep it up, like with the Percy escalations and stuff. So it wasn't like bad. It didn't drag in a bad way. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. But that might have been like me not feeling something today, not something being bad.
But I think if you're not feeling it, it's fine to have the scores like reflect that. I think these are how we feel about these, and even if it's not a quantifiable thing, I think it's fine to give it a score reflecting that.
I think it should also just be like, it could like be a 0.5, a point, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with 0.5. I'm okay with a point. Which one? Should I flip a coin?
Flip a coin, yes, please.
Okay. Tails is half a point, heads is a point.
Okay.
That's heads, that's a point.
Okay. The coin has spoken. Bring it home.
Okay. The N in the Purvan Scale is 9 cents. I do think there was a little bit of 9 cents.
Yeah, but the good kind. I will,
that's true. Do you count the door as 9 cents?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do count the door as 9 cents in a way, with a good kind. I do count the various sub-adventures as their disguise selves. That's pure 9 cents right there.
True.
But not in a way that detracts from the plot and makes you wonder why we are torturing people here again, in a not so literal sense, but just in a getting on the nerve sense. I like this. It's revealing about their characters and their abilities.
I was about to say that, like, the nonsense isn't character revealing, but then I realized, like, it is character revealing. It's character revealing of the city. It's revealing the city's character.
That too! It's serving a point. We're illustrating the city more. It's moving stuff forward, and, I mean, they do have to be in disguise here. They're not just doing this to fuck with people.
Yeah, and we're not necessarily learning anything new about Vox Machina, but we are learning new things about Whitestone, and that's valuable.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It is good. It's good 9 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to give it?
2 points? 3 points? I don't know where we go with this point, particularly.
I'm going to say 2 points.
2 points is good. Okay. Which leads us to 2, 1 half, 1.5, 4.5, 5, 6, 8.
8 points, which I think is very deserved. I had fun with this one, even though it did drag a bit.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Good
towards
one.
the end.
8 points, yeah. Okay.
Alright. This was fun.
Neato. Sure was.
And we finished with time
Boy,
to
it
spare.
took us a while. You say that, and we have a 3-hour recording, but hey,
Yeah. Alright. Well, thank you for
Alright.
listening.
if you would like to see the notes where we jotted all of this down and where I might post the Sasusaku GIF if I can find a way to put this into a Google Doc, you can back us on Patreon.
Yes, you can.
Lots of thanks to all the people who still do, even though our update schedule has been erratic.
I'm sorry, I've been very depressed.
It's not just you. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. I'm sorry. We'll get our head in the game eventually. Just right now, it's tough.
Yep. We keep on trucking. The truck is just slow.
Yes. Thank you to Mulafia for our art. Please do commission her if you can.
Thank you. Yes. Give her all your money.
Yes. She's making really cute, Mulafia, if you're listening to this, I've seen some of the art that you've put on Twitter recently. It's really cute. You're really experimenting with styles and it's really fun.
Yes.
So, thank you to Current Sun for our music.
Thank you to you, dear listener, for still being here 29 episodes in.
Woo! Oh, we're heading to 30. And, what is our opinion this episode?
Yeah, we sure are. Hey.
Hey.
Do you think...
Uh-huh.
Is there... No, there's no way in hell we're going to have episode 30 out before I turn 30. Never mind.
I can try my best, but I don't think so.
No. That would be like,
That'd be churning.
24, 25...
Might have to quit my job to do that.
28...
Not unless I get COVID again. Oh god, I have to... Oh,
you could...
I have to edit the COVID episode soon. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, neat. Yeah, okay, we can... If you actually manage to publish one every other week starting this week, we could make it before I turn 30, but I don't think that's something we could rush for.
No, if it happens, that'll be great, but
do not do that.
Yeah, it'll be a fun
nah.
accident, not on purpose. But
We are going to publish episode 30 before you turn 30.
Hopefully.
If we keep on doing this, we're going to do that before you turn 30. I think we can promise that much.
We can promise it won't happen in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is our opinion this episode?
Woof. Sometimes all you need to get your point across is a really good cow metaphor.
Perfect.
Woohoo.
Alright, thank you for listening again.
Thanks for listening.
See you soon. Bye.
Hopefully. Bye.